So I have to tell you guys that this is not the first, not the second, but the third time that I've tried to make this video, and I am really, really hoping it works this time, because I really want to get this video up tonight. So I might even try a fourth time if it doesn't work. That's how much I want you guys to hear what I have to say. So I wrote something that I really want to read to you guys. And I had some side notes that I'm probably going to forget and maybe revise, but so this is what I wanted to read you guys. I will not be able to see myself while I read this, so that's probably a good thing. Alright, here we go. I've been really unsure about how open to be on the internet about this, and then tonight a few people said some things that made me realize that I made a decision when I launched this fundraiser to have my situation out there, and that in doing so I've effectively told anyone and everyone who happens to come across my link, and I'm actually hoping people will come across this so that they can help me, is going to know that I have an eating disorder. And what is an eating disorder? It's a mental illness. So there we go. I have announced to the world that I have a very serious mental illness, and what's this? I'm asking for money. A lot of money at that. A wonderful, friendly acquaintance of mine forwarded me an email that she sent out to the people on her contacts list, telling them a little bit about my situation and sharing the link to my Give Forward page, and in it she was beautifully honest, and I was reminded of the power of unflinching, non-judgmental honesty. In the beginning of the email she wrote, "I will be honest, when I first heard about this, I instantly became somewhat frustrated and even angry. Why couldn't she just get better on her own?" And it dawned on me that a lot of people are probably asking themselves this question, that I'm asking myself this question. Another woman responded to someone linking my page on her Facebook page, questioning why people should donate to just one woman's fund. It's a lot of money, and it's just one person. And there's truth to that. It's an insane amount of money. It's $30,000. The woman who wrote the email to her friends and family went on to write, "I then realized I was terrified for her as I looked back on my own horrific struggle overcoming an eating disorder which had been with me for 12 years. I remembered how helpless, debilitating, and discouraging it was, even on my best days, and that if it hadn't been for the phenomenal treatment I received, my life would look very different today. I've been very moved by Sophia's devotion to winning her battle. Everyone should have the opportunity to live their life to its fullest potential." And thank you to the person who wrote that. You know who you are. I really appreciated that. After thinking a little bit about both of the questions these women raised, I decided to address them to you all. Number one, why can't she just get better on her own? After all, it's not as though anyone's holding a gun to my head and commanding me to starve myself and binge and purge, right? Very true. Also true is that eating disorders simply don't make logical sense. They are mental illnesses. And some people manage to recover without going into residential treatment. That's another truth. I was recently hospitalized on a medical ward twice in the same 3-week frame, and that 3-week frame included a week and a half spent actually hospitalized. And this wasn't the first time I had experienced such medical devastation. It's not necessary to tell you all just how many hours I've spent in how many emergency rooms being told that this will kill me if I don't stop. It was then that I realized my moment of clarity wasn't going to come. That moment in movies where the heavens part and the addict wakes up and realizes their illness is going to kill them and it scares them into changing their behavior. I'm just going to check to make sure this is still recording because it cut off last time. Okay, it's still recording. I'm going to go back to that now. So, with that heavens part and moment of clarity thing, and it scares them into changing their behavior. I mean, I've had little moments like that, where I saw the reality of my situation and it terrified me. I've had moments where I come out of it enough to realize the insanity of my behavior and the seriousness of my medical status and the very potentially fatal consequences of my actions, but not enough to scare me into being able to actually stop. And this is part of why I realized that I needed to reach out and find a way to come up with this money. Because I will die before I'm startled enough to just stop. Because my lows keep getting lower and more normal to me, and because I'm so habituated to living this way and so desensitized to the very scary realities of my illness that I may not have enough time to mature enough or become sane enough or whatever it would take to get better. I also know from experience that I truly want to get better, and that my illness has had enough of a grasp on me, and that I'm so deeply entrenched in this thing that every time I start to, it scares me or I find some reason to go back, and then I get sicker. And that's something else that I was thinking, this is a side note, that people are probably asking themselves is that there's that component of ambivalence with eating disorders and getting better. And for those who don't have a whole lot of knowledge on eating disorders, I can tell you that that is really normal, and it doesn't mean that the person doesn't want to get better. It doesn't mean that I don't want to get better. It just means that they're tricky. Alright. And so I believe that I need the 24-hour structure and care of a treatment facility, and I believe that because of my history, I need some time following my treatment in a transitional living facility to solidify the healthier state I get into while in treatment. I really believe that I need this, and I need for my own sake, because I do believe that I, as one person in this very populated world, am worth more than $1 amount to ask people to help me. Yes, even financially. I believe that everyone should have access to treatment, and that that's not the current reality. I believe that everyone is worth the trouble it takes to get into treatment, whatever level of care or whatever it is that the person needs. And the sad truth is that a person in the depths of an eating disorder is so often so exhausted and discouraged from the struggle itself that they are unable to fight in the way that is necessary to get the treatment that they need. This has been true for me for the majority of the time, and I've been lucky enough to, very recently by chance, have some wonderful people reach out to me and help me do this. Because I've had them to be accountable to, and because they have done a lot of the work in getting the word out about my situation so far, this fundraiser has been successful in its first few days. And I have to be honest, we've raised nearly $2,000, but the goal is $30,000, and I don't know if we'll get there. I really hope so, because I want to get well, and I really think that I need a lot of help to do so. And another side note is that if we're not able to raise the full amount, which I hope that we are, because that would, I think, pretty much guarantee me being able to stay for the duration of the appeal, and you can read about that on the Give Forward page. What I'm hoping to do is stay in treatment for the duration of an appeal process after my insurance pulls out, because they pull out like really early each time. They pulled out after 3 weeks this time, when the recommended length of time was a minimum of 3 months to 4 months. Anyway, so that's, you know, I'm hoping that that would be enough, but it could be a month, it could be 6 weeks, and my father's taken some money out. So anyway, the money that I'm trying to raise would really be so that I could make sure that I got the treatment that I needed. And a month is probably not enough, which is what my father's able to take out. So anyway, so there's some honesty. And I really don't know what more I can do but be totally honest and be persistent. And another side note, and not worry about what people think about my persistence, because the persistence is for my life. And hope that enough people will listen and help me get the word out to make this fundraiser successful. I can promise that if I am able to get the treatment I need, that I and my treating professionals believe I need, I will make the best use of it that I can, and I can promise that I have and have had an enormous passion to recover, and then go on to help other people gain access to treatment and to help other people get well at all costs. I can tell you about my passion to help the world. I can tell you that I understand that I am just one person, no more or less important or special than the next, but that I also believe we are all worth saving. Let's really hope that this went through. Alright, it says it's still recording, so I'm just going to end it here. There's a little bit more that I would like to say, but maybe I'll make another video another time. That's really what I wanted to say to you guys tonight. So, thank you.